Well, good morning, everyone. This is Emily Kestrel, and I am here with my husband and our whole dog fam in New Harmony, Indiana. New Harmony is a very unique small town in southern Indiana. It's got quite an interesting history of being founded by not one but two Utopian communities. The first was a religious group started by Father Rapp and his group of, I do believe that they were a sect of German Lutherans who believed that the end of the world was nigh. To prepare for it, they came here to live communally in a perfect utopia where they practiced celibacy and shared everything in common. I think they were here about 10 years. Then they left and went to Pennsylvania to await the end of the world there instead. After that, a group led by a man named Robert Owens came to create a secular utopia, which was supposed to be, again, a complete harmony based on knowledge and wisdom. That one too was short-lived, more idealistic than practical. But the town that those communities have left behind is very fascinating. It's filled with quaint things to see and has a very interesting spiritual vibe. So we are here to explore and take in all the sights. So this interesting little building here is a chapel to St. Francis. I'll back up and get a better view of it. It's probably locked up now, but it is very interesting inside. It's got a little informational sign here, Reluctant Saint, the life of Francis of Assisi. And this is one of the famous sites of New Harmony. This is the roofless church. This might be the only church that dogs are allowed in. Please ignore the lawnmower. It's the problem with vlogging in a town. It's really hard to control the noise. This is the centerpiece of the church here. love that little grove of trees here in the middle of the roofless church. For all I know, this is the only open-air church which you can just stroll through with your pets at any time. It's a very interesting place, though. It's part of the unique and unusual vibe that is New Harmony. We are down by the Wabash River at the moment. It's by the New Harmony Athenaeum. That's where they have all of the information about the history of the place, and you can go on tours if you like. Now, I was reading in a book called Haunted New Harmony that some people do report different kinds of spooky feelings down here by the Wabash River. There's no particular legend associated with it, but apparently back in the day there used to be camps, like river camps, shanty towns of poor people living along the river. That would have been several decades ago. And perhaps that does leave an eerie echo in the history of this town. Behold the Wabash River. Even though this town is very, very special, and I just enjoy coming here so much, this might be a bit of a low energy tour of New Harmony because we are camping this weekend and I pretty much got no sleep. That happens sometimes. Of course, I always like to throw in the naturalistic fun fact, so in case you haven't guessed, just by the looks of this, this is part of the floodplain of the Wabash River. And if we can take a moment for a flight of fancy, along with the aquatic habitat comes aquatic creatures, including creatures of legend such as mer-people. And they have left behind these artifacts of their writing. See there, it says Nyalvate, word meaning, reflection. I actually looked up Nyalvate, or however that's pronounced, after we were here the last time, and I learned it is apparently a shape language, which is how aquatic beings communicate with each other, by imagining these shapes. Aquatic beings would be, I guess, mer-people. The mer-people of the Wabash have left behind this shape language as a message to humanity. This shape apparently means strands of thought. I found the information about the shape language online to be a bit scanty, so if anyone is at all familiar with that legend or how it developed, please leave a comment. I would be fascinated to learn more about it. This one says Nyalvate, word meaning waters within waters. Actually, this shape in the mer-people thought language means family. I have got my paranormal team busy on the track of the mystery of the mer-people. We are here at the Harmonious Labyrinth. This place is a reconstruction of a hedge maze, or more accurately, a hedge labyrinth that was made by the Harmonists back in the 1800s. And the labyrinth, in case you didn't know, symbolizes the quest. Through the successive twists and turns, it's like the quest for the self, the quest for spirituality, the quest for God, the quest for wisdom or knowledge. All of this can be represented by the twists and turns of the labyrinth. So let's see what we will find here. Perhaps at the end of this labyrinth, Dread and I too will find an answer to our spiritual questings. Or perhaps not. And I do believe, as I recall from the informational walk that we had a few years ago, that this is not the actual original labyrinth that was destroyed by time. It is a reconstruction of it. Come on, Dread, no shortcuts in the labyrinth. Once again, Dread is trying to take a spiritual shortcut. Dread, that's not how things are done. And here comes little Miss Trouble. There they are, reunited. A much needed peaceful pause. Saying goodbye to Carol's garden. I just got 20,000 steps for the day. No wonder I'm tired. Now, I got a book from the library called Haunted New Harmony. I didn't read much of it because it focused on buildings and houses that I don't have free access to, but it did say that the whole town has a very strange spiritual vibe that most people notice as soon as they enter New Harmony. And I would say overall I have found that to be true.
Yeah, but it's gone now.
Yes, we have not really noticed it so much on this particular visit. So here is the Harmonious Cemetery. So this space is closed to the general public unless you are part of one of the informational tours. But this is where the Harmonists were buried. And maybe you're thinking it doesn't look like a cemetery because there aren't any tombstones, and that is correct. The Harmonists overall did not believe in pointing out one individual over another, and they carried that belief in death as well as in life. So there are no tombstones in this cemetery. And you might notice those mounds, and it's my understanding from what I've read, those are actually Native American burial mounds from about 2,000 years ago, what archaeologists call the woodland period. Now there are some tombstones over here. So I'm not sure who these stones are for, if the harmonists didn't normally have stones. But there is a little collection of stones laying here. So maybe the information I read was wrong, and they did have stones. It's just that they have all been moved out here. I'm not sure. There are definitely a few stones out here. So we are taking a brief hiatus from showing you New Harmony because my dogs are tired. And I don't mean that metaphorically about my feet, I mean my literal dogs are literally tired. So we're going to go back to the campground area and let them rest.